You're listening to a Comics XF podcast.
X-Men. Get it!
It's a blistering summer's day in the hamlet of Westchester. The air is thick, holding its humid breath, waiting for release. You've been encamping with the espresso and bong water scented confines of the Coffee A Go-Go, waiting to make your move. You've heard tell of a school here that is not like any other school. Inside the gates, locals say, are monsters hoarding unbelievable technology, the kind that Moses Magnum could only dream of owning. You don't know much about the man or the deal you made with him, only that his contact will be meeting you here. Suddenly, behind you, without a trace of brimstone or a rush of mist, a man appears at your table. His jacket is emerald snakeskin, his glasses shuttered, obscuring a twitchy, bug-eyed face. So, you're the chump Magnum got to join my posse. You don't look like much, but as long as you know how to obey old Telford here, we're going to be just fine. What's your name, anyhow?
I'm Adam.
And I'm Zach, and welcome to another exciting episode of Battle of the Atom. I'm going to be your dungeon master today. Let's
and
go
I'm
ahead
your level 3 wizard, apparently.
Are you a level 3 wizard?
I don't know what I am. What are things in D&D?
We're going with phase rep here. I mean, that's on. Why do you think we're playing D&D rules?
What's like beginner in D&D? Is it like level 1 imp?
As has been proven, I've never played Dungeons and Dragons.
Me neither. I don't know.
As we've said this on air last week, and we made about 10 minutes worth of jokes about it that we did cut from the episode.
But yeah.
Neither of us are dungeon masters. Neither of us have played any of this. But that doesn't matter because thanks to things like Community and Stranger Things, Dungeons and Dragons has never been bigger. And you know what?
It's true.
It's getting people to want us, an X-Men podcast, to talk about that.
Yeah, we have a Patreon request for this from who, Zach?
Well, thank you for bringing that up, Adam. This is one of our double dips.
Double dip.
There's some folks out here, and they've been members of the Vanishers Posse for quite some time. If you want to join that posse, just like double dipper J.W. McCormick, you can go over to patreon.com/Battle of the Atom. Reach deep down into your hearts and pocketbooks and toss a couple of coins into our coffers. At the $5 a month level, you get an episode bespoke created around, I don't know, one of your ideas. Something. You come up and say, hey, I want you guys to talk about something. And heck, if you stick around long enough, if you're with this crew, if you're going on these adventures, maybe we let you double dip every once in a while. Maybe we'll let you come on in there and say, hey, I'd like another episode, pretty please. And we say, okay, we need content anyway. And are you going to ask me and Adam to come up with this? We have a tab on our spreadsheet that says ideas that is like 3 years old of stories that we've come up with. And like, I guess we could do these.
Yeah. But this week we are talking about, like you said, Dungeons and Dragons style sword and sorcery stories. And there's some weird stuff here. There's some fun stuff.
Adam, was Dungeons and Dragons, you're a few years older than me.
Yeah.
Was Dungeons and Dragons a going concern in your youth?
No. In fact,
because you were like growing up in the 90s. So it would be like post Satanic Panic.
Yeah. So like the panic about D&D had died down. Role-playing games were definitely still around. Like I had some goth friends who were like really into Vampire the Masquerade. I didn't really understand.
You just had to say goth friends. I knew where this was going.
I didn't really know what was going on with that. I thought the art was beautiful in these books, but I didn't know how to play or what they were doing. And then like D&D was not like part of my listen, lots of nerd culture when I was growing up, lots of geeky
You
stuff.
the co-host of an X-Men podcast.
But
Really?
D&D was not ever one of those things. So it just passed me by. We have friends who are like devoted, love this stuff. And
We have
I
friends
just,
who do a lot of role-playing games,
Mhm.
who have hosted role-playing podcasts, who
Sure.
have custom-made Pathfinder modules. Like, I get it. I
Yeah.
get the appeal. Here's the thing about me and Dungeons and Dragons. One,
Tell me about it.
I grew up evangelical, as has been proven.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the Satanic Panic had died down, but you have to understand that evangelical media was about 8 to 10 years behind.
Sure.
Like, that's just what was circulating. So we still got plenty of Satanic Panic material at a young age. It's like, this is weird. I don't know why my friends at Wits End are telling me about this sword and sorcery game that makes real demons. It's like, that's a weird adventure and odyssey if I ever had one. That show was weird. We're not going to get too deep into it because we've already talked about Adventures in Odyssey in this podcast. But that show does have multiple supercomputers that go crazy, a la the Danger Room in Joss Whedon's Danger Arc.
Oh my God. Have you ever, one time Anna and I sat down and watched the Tom Hanks Satanic Panic movie.
I've not watched the Tom Hanks Satanic Panic movie.
Mazes and Monsters. Have you ever heard of this?
I'm aware of the Tom Hanks Satanic Panic movie.
Insane. It is insane. I mean, it was made before he was famous. It's more of a TV movie, but it was essentially designed to scare people off of D&D. And if people have never seen it,
I'm more familiar with Castles and Cauldrons, the Adventure in Odyssey version of this, which was a radio drama without Tom Hanks, but with the voice of Petrie from The Land Before Time.
Amazing.
He played Eugene Melsner.
What a crossover.
Off the dome. Anyway, keep going, please.
Oh no, I was just going to say, I mean, if anybody has a chance to like watch 5 minutes of it, it's crazy. I mean, it involves Tom Hanks like convincing people to play in a condemned like mining like area, and I guess he starts to be unable to distinguish reality from the game and then like murders somebody in New York City. Like, well worth a couple it's a terrible movie, but worth a couple minutes to watch some clips from.
Fun fact, Adam, that you'll appreciate as the movies guy. My wife yesterday asked me, has Adam seen some movie? I was like, I don't know, check his Letterboxd. And she said, what's Letterboxd? And I said,
nice.
You can go look at all of Adam's thoughts on movies on his Letterboxd. Here's the last thing I'll say about Satanic Panic era Dungeons and Dragons based media. It did die down after a while, but to the point that at one point late into its run, this is a season 5 episode of the television show Hey Arnold, there is bizarrely a Dungeons and Dragons like PSA episode called Gerald's Game, where Gerald gets this is 2002.
I'm sorry. No.
Yes.
It's called Gerald's Game.
Yes.
Okay, that's really funny.
Gerald is his friend.
Yeah, but you're aware of the Stephen King novel Gerald's Game, right?
Mr. King did so much cocaine and wrote so many words.
Okay.
I am only aware of you'll get a kick out of this. I am only aware of Stephen King novels because our friend and Dungeons and Dragons / general TTRPG aficionado, Corey, she is very into Stephen King right now and rereading all of it and sending a handful of us just capsule reviews of Stephen King novels every day.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, I mean,
it is funny. No, but I love that she's on this journey.
Oh, I love that for her. I just think it's funny that there's a Hey Arnold episode that's based around a book that's essentially about someone getting tied to a bed for a sex game and then their partner dying, so they're stuck in the bed.
That's funny. Hey Arnold is one of the smarter Nickelodeon shows out there.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like Hey Arnold did a lot of things right. I will straight up say Hey Arnold, which is why having a Dungeons and Dragons episode in 2002 was bizarre to me even then. I was like, this isn't a thing the kids are doing these days, Nickelodeon. You guys are totally wrong. But some people really love their Dungeons and their Dragons. And some people do believe that the tabletop fun adventures that they're having with their friends are actually worthy of larger scale storytelling. In fact, I think Vincent Diesel, you know Vincent, Mr. Diesel,
Yeah.
I believe he made one of his Dungeons and Dragons campaigns into a movie once that no one watched.
Oh, really? Which movie?
Yeah, had you not seen the Last Witch Hunter?
Oh, The Last Witch Hunter is Vin
Wait,
Diesel.
no, I'm wrong.
No, that's not right.
That's not it. Hold on.
This 100% sounds like something Vin Diesel would do.
Okay, no, I'm right. I'm
Okay.
right. I was
Last
right.
Witch Hunter?
The Last Witch Hunter was based on Vin Diesel's D&D campaign.
Amazing. That's
Yes.
incredible. Okay. Still have never
Yes.
seen it. I've heard it's
Oh.
fun.
I have not and will not watch it. I'm not a big Vincent Diesel fan. It's
Well,
nothing
as a
against the
Fast and the
gentleman.
Furious, you know,
I'm not a family
true
man.
believer.
You know this.
Yeah. Don't believe in
Long-
family.
Long story short, some people really think that their D&D campaigns are good and interesting to anyone except for them.
Including the writer of our first story today.
Yes.
This is great segue. This is Excalibur Annual #1. Comes out in 1993. It is written by Evan Skolnick, penciled by Chris Marinan and Audwin Newman, inked by Mark McKenna, Danny Belandi, and Keith Williams, with colors by Dana Morissette and Mike Thomas. And Evan is one of these people, right?
Yeah. Evan is one of these people. Evan said, "Hey guys, we're doing annuals this year." And here's the interesting thing about the 1993 annuals. As we've talked about on this show, all of them were about introducing a new character that had a trading card and saying, "Hey, do you want to learn about our new character?" And the answer was no. No one does. No one wants to know about your new character who is going to really change the Marvel universe forever.
They were historically poor characters. And Adam X the Extreme. He was.
He's the only one.
He's the only one that really latched on, and we still haven't seen that much of him.
Yeah, I think Empyrean has shown up a few times, but more backgroundy than anything else.
Had the Executioner been around already? Or
no. The Executioner actually is the most successful one.
Okay, because he's been around.
He's just a jobber.
Yeah. But in the Excalibur Annual here, I mean, the idea of an Excalibur Annual is already a little strange because Excalibur was known for having the perfect bound, one shots as they went through. There were multiple of them by this point. So it's very odd to have an annual, but we are introduced to the hottest character of 1993, and that is Chaos with a K. Chaos.
Yeah, it's Chaos.
It's Chaos. Okay.
Chaos is a dark elf who has wings and
Archangel
2 swords.
wings.
And he is royalty, but he was adopted by light elves.
Right.
And he has to fight with his party, Gath, who is the secret evil king of their realm.
Is it bad? I really thought it was Ghath. I thought it was Goth. I thought they were fighting.
No, it's Goth. You're right. I'm reading this now. So first off, this was some friggin' nerds in the 90s doing their D&D campaign because they're like, what are cool words? Well, Chaos as chaos. That's a cool name. Goth. You're right. It is Goth. So many times I don't think it's as stupid. Like my brain's like, no, it can't be that stupid.
But
I'm looking at the word chaos. So I know that it can be.
Yeah. But Brian Cronin did confirm with Skolnick that this was his teenage RPG character, Chaos. And
boy, is it.
Oh, it sure is. It sure is. Because Excalibur are here, but, they get thrown into this just this is basically the campaign, it's like,
About half the page count in this story is Chaos explaining in minute detail all of the elements of their RPG campaign, of their Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and like all of the cool elements about his party. You got to know. You remember the techno wizards that they're trying to stop, but luckily Chaos, he finds a band of mercenaries, his new comrades, like Longstrider and Crom and Kamandi. Son of a gun. That's Commandy, the last. They just used Jack Kirby's character. These are freaking comic. I got mad. I haven't said that out loud. I just read it and I was like, this word's nonsense. I don't need to process. That's Commandy, the last boy. They just used Commandy, the last boys. Oh my gosh. Evan Skolnick, his teenage friend, I assume, and Quattro from. They're stupid. This is so dumb. Anyway, luckily, they do all these fights. He gets sent into the past, into a different universe, and then Goth is like, oh no, I'm gonna get you. Anyway, they all fight, blah blah blah, and then he eventually recruits Excalibur to go help his planet.
Well, at first, right, Excalibur thinks that they need to protect Goth from Chaos until they get,
because Chaos looks like a demon man,
right? But then they realize, oh right, he's actually the good guy. And
not all dark elves are evil.
Yeah.
You get the Britain, the British superhero team.
You do get that 10-page flashback that you were just talking about. And then they're like, oh, okay, I guess we got to go fight Goth. And, it's just this extended dumb fight sequence of them sort of like throwing fists and flames and what have you.
How do you feel about Chris Marian's art in this?
I think it varies greatly. I'm not really sure which artist is which. One of them is doing much more Bart Searsy style of like 90s art with like very hyper articulated muscles and
the friggin', I'm sorry, but Cerise's shoulders and arms, like, bud, I had arm and chest day today and I was feeling pumped. And then I'm looking at Cerise in her negligee.
She's ripped.
Girl is, for having hollow bones, she is incredibly, insanely buff. She's making Brian look bad. Like, legitimately. I'm looking at Brian's shoulders. He needs to be doing some lat rises because Cerise is showing him up.
It is really funny though that like it's Cerise in bed and having this chaos nightmare, and she's dressed in this like sexy Victoria's Secret negligee, and everyone just comes in the room, and you're like, first of all, why are you wearing that in the first place? Second of all, where'd you get that? You're an alien. And then second of all, it's like, well, do you really think everyone should be in the room? And like, maybe we let her put a robe on. I don't know.
Why is Nightcrawler wearing a tank top to bed? He's wearing, I don't know what we're calling them these days, but the tank top from Hallmark movies.
He's got a white tank top and some boxers on.
Nightcrawler doesn't wear a shirt to sleep, right? Like, can you yell at Anna? Anna knows this. Like, or afterwards, just confirm with Anna. Nightcrawler doesn't wear a shirt to sleep, right?
I feel like we just had a Nightcrawler getting woken up in the middle of the night scene in Simone's Uncanny, and I can't remember if he was wearing a shirt. He was definitely wearing like some briefs and with a tail cut out, which was
fun. I honestly think he would wear boxers just so that he would turn them around and then have the tail out, because he probably goes a size up a little bit. Sure. Like, I feel like just like, because yes, he could custom sew all that stuff, but that gets expensive.
So you need to fly on the front and the back,
Yeah, and actually, okay, hold on. Practically, just for pure practicality, I actually think Nightcrawler would wear a jockstrap.
Okay.
Like, not even from a sexualizing Kurt kind of way, just in the
I have a
getting enough
tail.
room for his tail. Like, that's an off-the-shelf item that you could procure
Yeah,
and be in good shape for your tail.
sure. Okay, back to the art.
I'm sorry, yes, we have to talk about chaos.
No, it's okay. I think there are parts of this where the art is really successful. There's a very kind of angular, deep shadow, hyper stylized thing happening here that is verging on like Jay Lee. Maybe even like the architecture of bodies that you might see from like an Eric Larson. The flashback is illustrated by the other person that I was talking about that does the more hyper stylized like Bart Searsy type thing. I I think it's interesting to contrast these two.
Well, I think it's interesting because the flashback, you're getting Bart Sears. I almost see a little bit of Barry Windsor Smith, specifically Conan era
Yeah,
Barry Windsor Smith in this.
it's definitely trying to be evocative of, a Conan, who we'll talk about later this episode, but it's definitely
Spoilers.
trying to evoke a fantasy style, whereas the more contemporary one is, it looks more like a 90s comic. But there's just not a lot happening here. We get to the end and they fight Goth, and well,
Chaos
that's
is
it.
trapped here. Well, Chaos is trapped here, and he's going to be a hero of his own right. Chaos will never be seen again. He died on his way back to his home planet.
Yeah, we never see Goth again, even though he flies off on his archangel wings, like, silhouetted against the moon.
We'll never see
But
Chaos again. We also never see
no,
Goth again, but we never see Chaos again either.
and that's perfectly fine. There's also a very strange TechNet backup story here.
Yeah, hold on. We got to talk about the Technic backup story. Honey is Money by Joey Cavalieri and David Bowler. Joey Cavalieri is the mastermind behind the 2099 era.
Oh,
He was
right.
the editor on all of that.
Yeah,
One, I love David Bowler's art in this. Like, it is charming and a lot closer to what I think Excalibur should be.
yeah,
It's almost got a little bit of Colleen Doreen in
sure.
the work here, and I really like that. Uh, it's also a TechNet story, and those are the worst TechNet story is still something I want to read. Is the thing, because I do love Gatecrasher and her weirdos.
Yeah, but this story, which involves a knight hiring TechNet to get honeycomb nectar from giant bees to give to his lover, who's a princess, sexy princess, only to reveal that she wanted it so that she could smear it all over his face because he has really bad acne, and then says, "Now we can be married. I couldn't stand the sight of you before." Wait, what?
Look,
What?
I don't think that is ethical. I don't think that she is a good person. I think it's a funny gag. I think the implication of, hey, this knight is going through all this trouble for this woman who very much does not like him and is going to tolerate, and they're going to have an unhappy marriage, and TechNet could not care less, and they're just like, this is dumb, whatever. They're paying me, that's fine.
It also
There's also
ends,
a weird joke about his chastity belt that she
yeah,
put on
he's
him.
wearing a
Like, just
chastity belt, and it's, when does this come off? And she says that can come off after you drop a few pounds. What?
She's the worst.
Why?
I
Oh
love
my
her,
God.
but Princess Flavia,
Yeah.
she's the worst.
It's very strange.
It's a farcical thing though. Like, okay, I feel like this is spiritually so much more an Excalibur story than the Chaos one.
I would agree.
Which Chaos is like Excalibur. That means this should be swords and sorcery. And it's like, well, no, you got to read the rest of the book, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
They
got
got
to
it
read
wrong.
any of the other. Just because it's named after a sword doesn't mean this is a sword book. It's honestly very few swords in this book.
It's true.
Anyway, I also just love the page where there is a giant bee or multiple giant bees.
Yeah.
The giant bee page is truly like, I doubt that David Bowler still has original art around. But if David Bowler's giant bee page is still around, I may be trying to buy that one.
I think this is quite poor, and I'd love to figure out a good place for it on our big old list.
Oh, wait, hold on. Never mind. I thought for a second that David Bowler was drawing some Jesus comics. He's not, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
It just was a bearded man in a robe, but it is not Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
Big old list?
That's right, Adam. We have a big old list on this podcast where we've been ranking every story from A to Z. And by that, I mean we've been ranking it from best to worst. We've ranked every X-Men story that we have talked about so far, which is 1,179 of them. The best being the House of X Powers of 10, the 300th best being Larry Hama's Sabretooth Volume 1, the 600th best being Legion of X 1 through 5, the 900th best being a Sword and Sorcery story itself. It's X-Men 1/2. And the worst X-Men story of all time is the middle finger to Joey Cavallari. It is 2099 World of Tomorrow, a book that only exists because everyone who had worked with Joey quit in solidarity when he was unceremoniously fired.
Yeah, I wish we
Laid
could
off,
be
fired, however you want to call it.
Yeah, I wish we could be in solidarity with Calaveri, but this is not a very good annual.
It's not a good annual. Calaveri's portion is so much stronger than Solnik's stuff.
Yeah. So we actually have, a nice group of Excalibur here spread out on the list. Do you think this is better or worse than at 1045 Excalibur 83 to 85, the Soul Sword trilogy?
This is worse than the Soul Sword trilogy.
All right. Our lowest ranked Excalibur related thing is from Excalibur Volume 3, 1 through 4, Forging the Sword. Better or worse?
This is...
I think it's worse.
Yeah, this is worse than that. This is worse. Man, you would think... All right. So what's the nicest round number near that?
Well... What's 1100?
Let's see. Is it worse than at 1,101 Mojo Worldwide?
The art is better in Mojo Worldwide.
Art's a lot better,
even though it's pretty terrible.
This isn't worse than Dazzler the movie,
which is at
1125.
1125. Okay.
I do put this because at 1118 is X-Men Gold 1 through 3, and this is that level. This is start of X-Men Gold level.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. It's just kind of a nothing thing. You know what? I might actually put it above 1110 Wolverine and the X-Men Tomorrow Never Learns but that has Asrar art. So
yeah, that's the thing. Here, I'm going to throw something at you, and I think you're going to like what I'm saying.
All right, go ahead.
At 1123 is X-Force Shatterstar.
Oh boy.
Again, that is a comic where Shatterstar rides a dragon. Well, there's a big dragon fight.
Yep.
Below that is the Uncanny X-Men Iron Man Nova special, No End in Sight.
Mm-hmm.
I would put it right between those two.
That works for me. All right. So this can be
that does put it below the X-Men animation special, which is atrocious.
Yeah. Those are literally just VHS grabs. All right. So this is 1,124 Excalibur Annual #1 starring.
I still can't believe they couldn't just get the actual cells for that.
It's so weird.
It's so weird.
But yeah, we'll never see Chaos again. But we're going to go to a character that has been recurring, at least in Marvel Comics history, a few times. We're going to talk about Archon here.
You talking about Archon the Magnificent?
Yeah, we are going to talk about... Now, this is X-Men Annual number 3 from 1979, but this is actually the first X-Men Annual because the first 2 king-size annuals were just reprint specials. So this is the first...
They were reprints of the Count Nefaria Silver Age story and the Avengers story.
This is also unique because we've got Claremont writing and George Perez doing the pencils here with inks by Terry Austin and colors by Glynis Wine. So we've got a really interesting thing here where George Perez is taking on the X-Men, which is something we're not used to generally, but I think
Perez drew the X-Men Teen Titans crossover, and that's about it.
Well,
Like
wait,
some
that's
X-Men show
Simonson.
up in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Wait,
Are you talking?
no, Perez. I'm wrong. You're right. Simonson drew that.
Yeah. So, but the art here is interesting because it is definitely Perez pencils, but because it's Terry Austin, who you're used to like inking people like John Byrne or like
Terry
Art
Austin,
Adams.
the man with the uncanny ability to make any artist look like 1970s and 80s John Byrne.
Yeah, but it also like reminds me a lot of the work that he did with Art Adams too. So it's like, I don't know. It's just there's all these different.
I honestly, on one of the earliest pages, I did have to like double check, but this is too early for Art Adams. Wait, why does this look like it's an Art Adams?
Well, and it's such an interesting thing the way that this art is. Like the art that I chose for the episode art this week is a page of Colossus riding a dragon, and someone responded on Blue Sky like, "Oh, I love Paul Smith's Colossus." And I looked at it and I went, "Well, no, I responded, this is actually George Perez with Terry Austin, but I can see why you
said
say
that. What?"
Yeah, I can see why you said that because, this is just kind of like this interesting combination of styles. So anyway, this is Uncanny Annual number 3, and it is the reappearance of an Avengers character named Archon. Who's Archon?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like he's from
another planet.
Story. He's Conan. He's Conan, kind of.
Pretty much. He does have lightning bolts that he uses to teleport and do other stuff. So,
but he's a gladiator, like barbarian guy. He fights and he needs Storm. He needs Storm to help him and his people, because in an Avengers story, Tony Stark et al. Created a machine that helped them when their son that's not a son went out.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they don't have a traditional sun. They kind of have like, what would you describe it as? An aura around their planet. And then
they have a halo ring. They have a halo ring for its sun.
So when that went out, Iron Man invented a machine that can keep it going, but it's not working right. So what's an Archon to do but to come and knock on Avengers Mansion and almost choke Jarvis to death because Thor's not there? I thought that was pretty funny.
His first response is, "I will go see my friend Thor.
Yeah.
I will be a jerk to him, but Thor will appreciate my boldness." This is what Thor would do. And honestly, good sense, Archon. However, he doesn't do that, but he does figure out that there's another lightning lady around, and that is Storm.
Yeah. So we're going to go over to the X-Mansion. We're going to abduct Storm. Luckily, he leaves a lightning bolt behind so the rest of the X-Men can follow, and we all get transported to Archon's like sword and sorcery planet, where it is no sun and people are freaking out, and the X-Men are like being blamed for whatever's going on. So there's fighting and swords clashing, and it's fun. I gotta admit, I think it's great. I mean, you get like mid-battle Colossus like wading in on the back of a dragon. There's just like that part's kind of fun.
I love the part after they beat Archon, and he's like, "Well, this is probably the best way to get back to my planet." And Scott grabs a handful of the lightning bolts and says, "Cross your fingers, because I really don't know if this is going to work." And he throws it on the ground, and it's just an explosion. And then the next page is a full-page spread, and it's Wolverine saying, "Psych, it worked." No notes. That's such a good page turn. That is the Cyclops is dead, Cyclops is alive page turn from Dark Phoenix Saga.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And of course, because in classic abduct Storm fashion, she gets refitted into this like sword and sorcery
sexy goddess
garb,
bride,
very sexy garb. And she is going to, out of the kindness of her heart, she has decided that she is going to restart this machine. But of course, if she does, that will kill her. So we get
Well,
another
here's-
classic Claremont thing where multiple X-Men have to combine their powers to save the day.
Here's what I love is that after Archon explains the situation to Storm, after she figures out what's going on, she's like, literally, why did you choke me in my garden and kidnap me? You could have asked.
Yeah.
You literally, you need lightning powers so that your entire civilization doesn't die. I'm a superhero. Yeah, you just
let us
don't
help
be a
you.
jerk about it next time, please. You know the Avengers? You even have references? You don't need to do this, Archon.
I think my other favorite part of this is that, okay, so the power combination involves like Colossus in his metal form is going to ground Storm by holding her up and like being in a pose. And then Storm is going to shoot all of the electricity at Scott, which is somehow not going to kill him because of his I absorb radiation solar arrays to power
But
my
Adam, how does that work with the punch dimension?
great question. But
I'm
my
joking.
favorite part
Anyone
about
who
this
takes
is
the punch dimension any serious anyone who takes the punch dimension any more serious than Al Ewing the one time where he had America Chavez punch a hole into a different dimension and it was a dimension of pure punch. Like that's
great.
as serious as you ever need to take the punch dimension, and you never have to think about how Cyclops' powers work. It works because we need him to shoot laser beams out of his eyes. That's why it works. Like, let's be.
It's all it needs.
Science doesn't have to work. They aren't real.
Yeah. But the best part about this is that like Nightcrawler and Wolverine have been tasked with fixing the machine. So you cut to them. Nightcrawler's like, damn, my weird fingers are not helping this out. Wolverine's just jamming his claws into the machine. And he's like,
Nightcrawler, who people forget is like technically adapt. Like he's a fixer.
yeah.
And that is a character trait that Claremont consistently gives him.
He claims
said,
that
like,
Banshee's been working with him too to like even make him more technically proficient.
Yeah.
Great
He said,
panel
like,
of Cyclops like unloading on the machine after he's got all this power, and his instead of it being a red concussive blast, it's white, and then it like merges with the border. I think that's a sick panel.
It's very good. It is very good. They shoot this big blast. They reignite the sun, and they say, "Hey, is this another Chris Claremont comic about how you have to use the sun to save the day?" Gosh, he loves that.
You know what sucks? At the end, they all get outfitted in like He-Man garb. Like they're like all the guys are in like these chest-bearing harnesses and like long boots, thigh highs.
Cyclops is just wearing Colossus's regular clothes, but without being metal.
Yeah, but like you don't really get to see it. Like they're all just kind of standing behind Archon, so that's a bit of a shame that they didn't get to like hang out in those outfits.
Yeah, it feels like if George Perez went through all the effort of designing them, you could have gotten more than a few obscured panels.
Yeah. I also
I should have gotten that garb the moment that they landed in Archon's dimension.
I just going back through that 2-page spread that Perez does of like the X-Men fighting through the horde of soldiers. It's really well done. Like it's fantastic.
I forget who it was, but someone at one point said that George Perez may not have been the best artist of his generation, but he was the artist who did the most art. Like,
well, I mean,
he drew the most things. Like his drawings are a lot all the time, and I love that. Like the level of detail really shines through on this. Like I always think of this annual as a bit of a dud. Like I do think that generally Chris Claremont's X-Men annuals are not good compared to the rest of his run. They are a weaker bit. But going back to this, I was pleasantly surprised because I'm not sure if I had really read this in a very long time. Like I remember it from a kid reading the Essential X-Men Black and Whites, but like this was kind of new to me, and I was like, oh, this is pleasantly better than I thought it was. Not perfect, but still pleasantly better.
No, but it's fun, and you know, Glynis's colors really shine here. I really did enjoy reading this. I'm curious where it should go. I don't think it would go higher than 368, which is New Mutants Annual 2. Wild Ways.
No, it's not better than Wild Ways.
I could be convinced that it could be better than X-Men Annual. This is X-Men Volume 2, Annual number 3, which is Storm versus Shinobi. That's at 498. But I don't know if this is that good.
498. Sorry, I'm looking at. No,
I think this is definitely better than it. I'm going to jump down a little bit.
Okay,
and we can
'cause
work.
I
our
don't
way
remember
up.
that Storm versus Shinobi annual like even a little bit right now.
Okay, it's 739 is the first Adam X annual.
This is better than the first Adam
This
X.
is definitely
annual.
better than that. I think this is probably also better than its 735 X-Force and Cable Annual 95.
Is this better than the time that Jean Grey got tentacle arms?
Yes.
Okay. See, sometimes
Yes.
we just got to throw a gut check out there and make us know how we feel. Is this better or worse than Girls' School from Heck?
It's way better.
Way better than Girls' School from Heck. Is this better than the X Babies miniseries?
Yes.
Okay. We're getting there.
Let me ask you this one. Is it better or worse than at 558 is Uncanny X-Men Annual 95, which is where one of the Guthries gets, into like
This is better. This is better than Jolene Guthrie doing a racism.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
this is better. New Mutants Truth or Death. This is better than New Mutants Truth or Death, actually. That's a 500.
Okay,
So
well
you
then
dropped down really hard, and then we started cranking this thing back up.
yeah, and right above that is that Storm versus Shinobi annual that I was just talking about.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I think we're in the right place. It's just a matter of like where this goes, because it is a very high quality. Like it's well done. It's not a vital story aside from them coming back later with the lightning bolts in Asgardian Wars, but I feel like Asgardian Wars accomplishes this story like a lot better.
Yes. 489 is Song of Mourning, A Cry of Joy. This is not as good as that. That's
No,
my
but
ceiling. That's
I think
my
it's
hard
better
ceiling.
than right below that, the X-Men 2099 Halloween Jack arc.
I do love me Halloween Jack, though. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. This can be our new 490.
Well,
I
listen,
guess.
hey, wait.
No, I guess George. If I say this out loud, George Perez and Chris Claremont are better than Halloween Jack from X-Men 2099. that is a fair and like a statement no one can be mad at me for making.
All right, so our new 490 is X-Men Annual number 3 with Archon. Now, Archon is, as we noted, kind of like
He's a
discount Conan the Barbarian, and
yeah. As the youths would say today, he's Timu Conan.
He's Timu Conan.
It's not as funny when your kids say it all the time, Adam. I'll tell you, that joke's funny the first time. It's not funny the 50th time a day.
I laughed when you just said it. And
it was the first time.
What's really weird is that for a period in the 2020s, Marvel had the Conan license and made a book called Savage Avengers.
And Conan was in it.
Yeah, we've talked about Savage Avengers before on this show. But this particular arc is Savage Avengers 17 through 19, which has some very interesting X-Men crossover stuff, because this is happening during the King in Black crossover event.
Right, King in Black, that famous X-Men event. For people who don't know, King in Black is the culmination of Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman's Venom that involves Null. We all know Null.
We all know Null. He's coming.
Null's coming. Null. The stamina that Null has. Just consistent. Null, a character that you thought was going to be in Venom The Last Dance and really was irrelevant in it.
That was so disappointing. They show him and then he does nothing.
I know I made jokes about this at the time, but you know that how I watched Venom The Last Dance?
I'm guessing on a plane.
No, that's how I watched the other two Venom movies. Venom The Last Dance, I watched from a Manhattan hotel room because I was so friggin' tired in the greatest city in the world. And I didn't want to do anything except for watch a terrible movie. But
that's the perfect energy for a Venom movie.
I was a block from Times Square. Like, I was in the heart of the world. And I was like, Venom 3. Let's see what
Fire
Noel's
it
up
up.
to.
Fire
I
it
was
up.
tired. I did other stuff that week. I actually think it was after. In fact, I know I had just come back from dinner with Zach Raberoff. Me
Nice.
and him got dinner and hung out, and I was tired and I didn't want it. It was like, I don't know, it was like 8:00 at night, and I had work the next morning. I don't have to justify my vacation. It was a work trip. I don't have to justify my business trips to you.
Just a quick plug for listeners who are fans of Raberoff's writing. Just came out with 2 big pieces for Comics Journal this week. One, Memorial of Jerry Conway, and the second one is a big piece on Jim Shooter. Recommend you check out both of those.
I did text Zach this morning after I read his Jim Shooter piece, and I said, yeah, man, there was a part in this that was incredibly pretentious and really shouldn't have worked, and I'm shocked that you made me not hate it. It's when he compares talking to Jim Shooter as a quote from the Odyssey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, Zach, I'm mad that you made that work, buddy. That deeply frustrating to me. What a guy. Anyway, I can't wait for Zach to talk about King in Black. Something so important. Hold on. No, Zach was not actively writing anything about. I wanted to check if Zach was writing anything actively about King in Black for Xavier Files, Comics XF, depending on the time. All I remember about this is that I did write about the King in Black crossover. It was the Chris Cantwell Doom Iron Man issue. And I wrote it, and I'm never going to reread this because I think it's probably bad, but I did. No one read this article, so it's fine to spoil this. I did write it in verse, in the same cadence of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas.
Amazing.
Anyway, King in Black, big Venom Goo event.
Yes. So at this point, we have got on writing duty Jerry Duggan. We've got pencils and inks by Kev Walker and colors by Hava Tartaglia. This is Conan starting out in Rikers Island. He's been arrested. And
to be fair, Conan is a thief.
Yes. We've got some riot cop police who are already overwhelmed by Venoms flying around in the sky.
Also, Conan hates the police.
Yeah, he's like ACAB big time.
Based Barbarian over here.
Yes. Who shows up in the cell with him but Deadpool?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize this. One of the dudes in the cell is bald and has a head tattoo that just says 69 dude on it.
There are some funny gags in this.
Kev Walker's very funny. Jerry Duggan's humor and my humor do not always align, but on occasion they do.
Well, here's why this works. Conan loves Wolverine. Similar to how Archon wants to hang out with Thor, Conan loves Wolverine and just wants to hang out with Wolverine.
This is due to the Savage Avengers stuff that we have previously talked about. Right. He was like, I understand this small furry man.
Yes. Conan would love nothing more than to have his own Wolverine claws, right?
His own set of sneak blades.
He finds out that Deadpool knows Wolverine and is like, all right, maybe Deadpool can get me a couple minutes with Wolverine. So we get, Conan and Deadpool. Deadpool is comedy. Conan is straight man. And
is Conan the straight man?
I don't know.
Because Conan does jokes. Because how they escape from prison is Conan saying to Deadpool, your entire body heals quickly from any injury, like Logan's does. And he's like, oh, much better than Logan. I don't know why I gave him that accent. I was going for Ryan Reynolds, and it went somewhere else.
I thought that was good. I think Deadpool could sound like that.
It could. Anyway, Conan the Barbarian says perfect, immediately grabs his head and starts smashing him through the bars because he's like, well, he can't fit with all of his bones together. But if I just push his bones through the door. He'll get there.
It's a very this is the other part about this that I think just works is this is basically just Jerry Duggan doing a Deadpool arc, but with like Conan's there, right? So Deadpool gets shoved through this. He already thought he had the keys to the cell, but it turns out he stole the prison guard's home keys.
Very good,
but
actually.
He does get the real keys after kind of crunching himself back into place. And they also, and now they're breaking out of Rikers Island on police horses, and they have adopted a friend. The Night Flyer is with them for these issues.
Now, what do you know about Stanley the Night Flyer?
This is his first appearance. All I know is that cool dude, likes thieving, and has what seems to be a very healthy relationship with his attorney boyfriend.
Yep. He also has jetpack wings.
Yeah. And a sick mustache.
This is all the comics that Night Flyer is in. And like he has the vibes of like, man, there's a Marvel Comics Presents story about this guy that I've just not read and no one but Jerry Duggan has read. And it's not. He's made whole cloth for this. But he has that vibe, and that vibe is so important to Marvel Comics. In comics in general, it's like there's a guy. There's just some guy out there, and everyone has superpowers, so he also has superpowers. Or a jetpack in his case.
Or a super suit. I think what's fun about the Night Flyer is that he keeps reintroducing himself. Like he enters any scene with a new person is like, by the way, I'm the Night Flyer. Did you know that I'm the Night Flyer?
This is Night Flyer. This is Night Flyer's zone. He is trying to build a brand, and I appreciate that for Night Flyer. They do fight symbiote dragons, and Conan has weird feelings about the symbiote because of symbiote stuff that's happened
ancient
earlier.
Conan symbiote history, apparently. So he starts wearing one as a sword.
Yeah.
This only lasts for a couple issues. He doesn't keep this after this arc.
He doesn't keep that, but he does have a symbiote sword that he messes around with because Conan this whole time is trying to stop Kulan Goth from Conan stories and also those weird X-Men comics that people like way more than I do.
I really liked the flashback of the symbiote getting discovered by a ancient sorcerer supreme who then rescues the symbiote from being a genie in a bottle and then frees it so that it can become his cat. It's only a page long, but it's a really good, like kind of heartwarming story about a guy and his symbiote. And I was like, oh, okay. But then of course, Kulan Goth comes and like tortures the symbiote. So the symbiote wants to kill Kulan Goth. So Conan's like, of course, we're best friends now. This all leads to the whole team ending up trying to rob the Hellfire Club, which seems abandoned, but maybe not the best idea when you have Krakoan gates around.
Yeah, so the Hellfire has now become pirates, as is seen in Jerry Duggan's Marauders. And Conan goes to the Hellfire Club and says, this is nice. There's some good stuff here that we should steal. Because again, people don't remember this about Conan. Conan loves to steal stuff. He's a thief first and foremost. He's a thief barbarian. He loves to break and enter. Conan adores a B&E. And what is the Hellfire Club? Buddy, it's a B&B that you can B&E.
Well, I believe
while you're pretending to do D&D.
Oh,
was it another one?
Was it Night Flyer who like came up with the idea of doing this? I forget, but you know, it appears to be empty.
It's Night Flyer's idea. Night Flyer and his lawyer.
Yeah, it appears to be filled with like endless duffel bags full of cash. But the second they go to rob the place, we get this awesome cameo. I love this. The Krakoan gate opens up and we get Iceman, we get Callisto, and we get Bishop. And they're like, yeah, you can't just take that.
Bishop walks in and says, I don't know who you two are. Deadpool.
You should know better.
You know Bishop does not tolerate Deadpool. Like he's been around him enough, and he's like, I don't F with this guy. He's not Bishop's vibe, and not even in a like Cable and Deadpool kind of way. Like Bishop would shoot him. Bishop is so much closer to Punisher than we want him to be sometimes, but he has. I don't think that Bishop and Punisher are one and the same. I do think that Bishop and Punisher would have the same level of tolerance for Deadpool.
Oh, which is 0.
Yeah, Cable's a softie actually. Bishop and Punisher are not. Punisher does not appear in this comic.
Listen, I am a guy who has written like fan fiction scenes of Bishop and Deadpool together, and it usually ends up with Bishop choking Deadpool. So
Adam, is this possibly why I have all of these feelings about how Bishop and Deadpool were interact? Because I forgot that all of this is coming from a comic that I have feet from me. It is actually on the other side of my spinner rack that is not facing me right now. I apologize that I do not have your comic facing me at all times. It got spun around recently. I'm sorry. The spinner rack does in fact spin. It is a rotating device. Rack. I did forget that was absolutely your comic and one of the core reasons that we met and are doing this podcast together. Yep.
So they get, this great fight sequence. I do love this because these are characters that Jerry is like, tackling in the books, that he's writing for Krakoa. He gets to bring them over here. You get this. I love the bit that Conan thinks that Iceman is like a frost giant. And he just keeps like making, so we get this like thing where Conan like slices Iceman into ice cubes, but
with
like
the symbiote hammer.
Yeah. But then it's like, well, of course, Iceman's like Omega. So it's like,
well, and then you get Iceman. I actually really like this because Iceman's line, right? To open up the third issue of this is, you humans so quick to murder us. Imagine if we treated you the way you treat us. And it's like Bobby Drake is the fun-loving guy, and that's what he talks about. He's like, I didn't want to scare anyone, but like, actually, screw you, dude. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, people got mad that Krakoa was the X-Men saying exactly, hey, stop murdering us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good mission statement, despite it being
Iceman delivering it is a really good like way to add this in. I like. So
this. Then they team up. They try at least to save. If you didn't read King in Black, which I have not read all of it,
I have read every bit of it.
Really? Okay.
Good. Oh, so Storm. When it was coming out, I had to know what was going on with my friend Null.
You had to know when he was coming.
I hate read a lot of Donny Cates comics.
Storm and Cyclops do get transformed into like null symbiotes in
whatever. They get nullified.
They're trying to rescue them. I don't feel like they're successful though, because that has to happen in a different book.
It has to happen in a different book, but they fight. The designs are so bad. And I know what Stegman was going for with these designs, but I hate them so much.
Yeah, they're not good.
Stop making other people Venom. Just make Venom. And I don't care if Mary Jane's Venom, just to be clear. I just like, not everyone needs a symbiote.
Nope. But they're not going to stop anytime soon.
Iceman does kill a bunch of dragons, though.
He does.
And they're like, okay, well, I guess we can escape now. They all go back to the Hellfire Club.
Mm-hmm. They're all allowed to keep 2 duffels each, which I thought was very nice.
1 duffel each. That's what Callisto says. And she emphasizes the 1.
Callisto's great in this. Like Deadpool says like 1 word bubble and she like takes he insults her daggers and she just like completely just cuts his throat so he can't talk.
And you know that Callisto's not doing that because she's like horrified of him or thinks he's ugly. She's doing that because she just hates him.
Yeah. It's funny.
Love that.
Yeah.
Conan, however, does not want the purse.
No, he does
not want the bag.
I want to live here.
He's like, I need a castle. I need a place. This thing has a full bar. You guys aren't using it. It's musty and crusty. And he says, hey, this is my house now. I, Conan the Barbarian, now live in the Hellfire Club, and this is my house. And Wolverine, who knows Conan, comes through the gates, and he's like, "Hey, bub, what's up? I heard you want Wolverine claws, and I'm not saying that there aren't extant Weapon X programs out there. I'm saying you don't want Wolverine claws the way you think you do. Strap some knives to you." And Conan's like, "No, I'm over that. I want the Hellfire Club. Beautiful. This is what I want from Conan the Barbarian."
Yeah.
And Wolverine's like, "Whatever. I don't care about this place. That's Emma's problem. Sebastian, you can beat up Sebastian. That's great. Emma might not like this, and that is not my concern." And Wolverine walks away. He's like, "Whatever. Cool. Have it."
Conan's so happy he gets to talk to Wolverine too.
Conan the Barbarian is so happy about the results of this. And I am delighted when comics know how dumb they are. Because, like, the comic that is, hey, Conan the Barbarian's interacting with the Marvel Universe. That's stupid. That's a dumb, kind of bad idea. Do it for 20 plus issues, tie it into a 2-issue arc from X-Men from the 80s, and have Conan do dumb stuff and bring in everyone's favorite new character, Night Flyer.
Yeah. We got to bring
Night Flyer's way better than Chaos, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to be so clear because we made the same jokes there. Night Flyer, 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Chaos, Night Flyer and Chaos should have a flying race.
They both have wings.
They both have wings. Night Flyer's wings are cooler.
Yeah. They are.
This is a weird, but like, this comic is so charming and it has so much going against it. And I know I've complained about Funko Popification and all this stuff, but like,
but this does, I gotta say, like, I am not always hip to Jerry's sense of humor, but what he's doing in these 3 issues, it is very much in line. It reminded me of why I really liked his Uncanny Avengers. You know, like, it has a fun rhythm to it. It's got a good, like, vibe with the characters, and it's just meshing multiple worlds that he's used to. So I really enjoyed this. I also didn't mention this. The covers are by Valerio Giangiordano. They're beautiful, like, just really great kind of fantasy covers. The downside to this entire run, is that Marvel no longer owns the Conan license, so you can't read these unless you like have
you just can't read them digitally. You can't read them digitally. They did put out an omnibus of this. Like, they
go to your library. They might have it.
Go find this comic if you want to read it. It's fun. Magic shows up and is part of the team. Juggernaut's on this team later. Like, there's a lot of X-Men in it. How do you like this compared to the first arc of this, City of Sickles, that had Mike Deodato and Elektra on the team and some other stuff at 527?
At 527. Okay.
Here's what I'm going to say, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Savage Avengers 1 through 5 felt like, to me, a book that they didn't trust to be as stupid as they wanted it to be, because the pitch is terribly stupid. And I feel like they're like, no, this is a very serious, important team book here, and this is going to have ramifications. And then by the time you get to issue 17, Jerry Duggan's like, this is my dumb Conan romp.
Yeah.
This is my Conan's having fun book.
Yeah.
And I like that vibe better than we're the tough, mean, gruff Avengers, and Jerry's going to fit in his jokes about Pabst where he can.
I don't know. I think I like this better than the first arc. I'm just not sure how high I'd be willing to go. I don't think I would. Just to be
clear, that puts it over that time that Sabretooth had, or that Omega Red had a tiger.
Yeah.
Which is uneven. That's an uneven story.
I'm okay with that.
But he does get a tiger.
I would, my limit here, I can't go over 507, which is Colossus.
I can't go over 511, which is Ghost Rider Wolverine Weapons of Vengeance.
Yeah. I think that's good.
Another Because you see, Ben Percy is the king of, hey, I'm going to do this. I feel like I defend Ben Percy constantly on this podcast,
You
but
don't
I
need
just really
to. People love him.
do they? I don't
He,
know. Honestly, I have
he's
no
a
idea.
best-selling
I don't.
writer. He writes like multiple comics every month, and he's very successful. I don't think
He is very successful. He just the dumb stuff really speaks to me in a profound way.
Yeah.
This isn't as good as that. Is this better than Amazing Nightcrawler at 518?
I like this better.
Is this better than the Lord of the Brood? Or this is better than the Brood. Should we genocide the Brood?
It is.
This
it's
is
definitely better than that. But I don't. Is it better than the Sidrian Hunters arc of Uncanny 154 to 157?
Nah, let's put it at 517.
Okay, 517 is going to be Savage Avengers 17 to 19, King in Black.
Go read this one. That one's a fun one.
Yeah. It really is.
Folks, you have to
fun,
understand,
story.
we just want to do a fun one sometimes.
What's wrong with fun ones? That's what I want.
don't know.
And who knows, maybe playing D&D for real would be a fun one, but I don't think I'll ever know. And I'm okay with that.
I may learn at some point only because my children have expressed interest in one of my children's friends. And like, here's the thing. I don't trust these 10-year-olds to effectively dungeon master things. And I don't really trust me because I don't know how to do that. But I have been doing a podcast for several years, which my yes-anding has gotten half decent.
I think you do a great job, Zach.
I think I would be a swell dungeon master. I don't want to, though. That does not sound fun to me. I just think I'd be good at it. And that's me with most things, to be fair. I have the idea that I could be good at just about anything, just like I think all of our patrons could be good at just about anything, like JW McCormick. If you want to be like JW, go over to patreon.com/Battle of the Atom. Reach deep down in your hearts and pocketbooks. $5 a month. That's all you got to do, buddies. That's all you got to do, and you get to talk about great, cool, fun stuff. Adam, what great, cool, fun stuff do you got going on?
Let's see. Austin and I just reviewed the latest alien-infested issue of Uncanny X-Men, so go check that out over at Comics XF. You guys can always follow on social, Adam Rec on Blue Sky and Instagram, or if you want to check out my Letterboxd, I'm at letterboxd.com/AdamRec1, the number 1.
So
Zach,
Adam Rec 0 got there before you, eh?
I've just used that for a variety of things over the years. So Zach, what are we doing next week?
Oh, we're going to be talking about Grant Morrison students.
Oh, Grant Morrison.
We are not going to be talking about any Grant Morrison comics, by the way. Sorry.
No.
Sorry to confuse you there. We are talking about Grant Morrison characters. We are not talking about Grant Morrison comics. Until then, folks, this has been Battle of the Atom. We hope you survived the experience.
Get it!